And this is Bill Barker, and we're testing our leadership patience this morning. We've had some technical difficulties. We had a confusion related to an AM versus PM. So those that have been on, I'm hoping that we have finally caught up with you, or you're seeing this. Please let me know. The only way I can tell is by you chatting in to the conversation. So if you're out there, let us know. Say good morning. And all good leaders have to show flexibility and be able to pivot and deal with the circumstances as they come. And that's what we're doing this morning. We had a great program for you this morning. We're going to go ahead and walk through this program. At least we'll have it recorded, and we can promote that. And many can. Hey, Chris, it looks like we're coming through once. Finally. So I hope others stuck in there with us for a little while. It's going to require us to go a little bit longer, but we will get through that. I see. I'm going to say, just give me a second. People are texting me, so I'm going to tell them to try again. Here we go. So anyway, I love our ability to pivot. Hey, Al, great to see you, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate everyone's flexibility. This is a lesson in itself, right, of leadership and what it means to solve things on the fly and have flexibility. So would love to. Okay, I hope so too. We're gonna hope they all come back. So here we go. Let's get into it. We've had some really good sessions. Hey, Sonia, glad you came back. Sorry for the confusion this morning. We've had some really good conversations up until now, and today we're just kind of bringing it all home around our leadership formula and the framework that we use for leadership. We've been talking about coming out of this book, the leadership challenge and some of the context in that, and I shared with you that it all became real to me when I spent a week at a camp in Kentucky called Camp Joy, and it brought a lot of the leadership principles that I've been practicing for many years. It gave me a nomenclature to really communicate those effectively. And, those were the inspire a vision, shared vision, where we have collaboration. People can all agree on what we're trying to accomplish and get behind that, and then kind of modeling what good looks like, modeling the way through that, encouraging the heart. I mean, who doesn't need to be encouraged, particularly these days? I need a little encouragement. Chat it up. Make me feel better after these technological changes this morning. And then allowing people to challenge the process. Well, we challenged it this morning, and we came together stronger as a team. I also want to tell you, we've been encouraging to read the Maxwell 365 Daily Reader, and I thought today's quote was kind of apropos to what we're doing. So take an interest in people. I love it. Take an interest in people. If you've been reading that, I think you'll find every day it's amazing how those one-page testimonies or ideas or thoughts really resonate, how real they are. Hey, Brandy, glad you're back. So today, it kind of is all about bringing it all together, enabling others to act. And those that are coming back in, welcome back to the conversation. Yes, Robin, Daily Reader is great. I'm glad you got back in. Thanks for texting me. So today, we're talking about the art of enabling others to act. What is so beautiful about this and what I love about it, this gets beyond ourselves, right? This is about our ability to really connect and participate in others, what others are doing, and creating a path and the confidence and the courage to really take action, to participate in what the organization is doing, participate in whatever activity they may be doing, and be a contributor. I've never really met anyone, from the best performers I've had to some that had needed encouragement, that didn't desire to do a good job, didn't desire to participate in something worthwhile and contribute. And this is about creating a pathway for them to do that, right? We talked about what it means to lead, and you're going to hear a lot in here about listening, because listening and probing and those things we talked about are really the demonstrative ways of us showing people we care about their success. We care about them as individuals. And when they know how much we care, then they'll care more about how much we know, and they'll engage and listen to us more. So this is creating a pathway for others to accomplish their hopes, their dreams, and meet their potential. And it's so exciting, really. It relates to virtually any relationship. And we talked about the importance of action when we talked about what it meant to lead. So this is about really exercising that skill. I want you to think honestly about that question. I want you to kind of share some this morning. Do you think, as you think about that question, do you enable others in your organization to do great things? Are you creating now? And you know the beautiful thing again, this is not about being a boss or being an executive. This is just about being a colleague as much as anything. Sometimes getting outside of the formalities of our business and our leadership is really where the best things occur, right? And I want you to ask yourself honestly, do you really create an environment where people want to participate? Do you create an environment where people want to ask questions and lean in? Remember, this is about demonstrating that you're doing the other four things well, that you're inspired. There we go. Sorry about that. Now my connection is acting up. It's been an interesting morning, hasn't it? So, so where do we start? I would suggest we start by genuinely asking others around us, what do you really need to succeed, right? What are those things that you feel like would elevate your ability to participate in what we're doing? And you might be surprised. Just don't assume, right, that you know. Is it tools? Is it training? Is it better procedures? You know, it may be intangible things. Like, do they just not feel encouraged about what you're doing? Remember, we talked about that. That's one of those other principles. It might be inspiration. We talked about that. It may be a lack of motivation. They may not, just not feel like that their contributions are recognized enough, or that they really have a say so in what they're doing. People like to have voice. And the more that you can create a collaboration, the better that you'll see people step in and really want to participate. I've moved away. This is really about accomplishment, right? As well. And I'd encourage you. One of the things that I like to do now is I prefer accomplishment of the month. Hey Patrick, glad you got in. Sorry about the mess up this morning. I like going from employee of the month to accomplishment of the month. It gets to a bigger team environment where you can celebrate what it may be a single person's accomplishment, it may be a team's accomplishment, but it aligns to what the organization's doing. I see that a big part of the challenge for many companies is really around alignment. The organization is not purely aligned to a clear, understood vision. Alignment's very, very important. It's also about context. If people understand the context of what they're trying to achieve, how they fit in to that. Much more effective when you can have the courage to allow people to operate around context versus control. Really, the difference in lead versus manage. And so, therefore, accomplishment and clarity around accomplishment is very, very important. You can't successfully lead if you don't have a good read on what people need. It's just one of the basics. It's not. It's you can kind of learn it, but it's very much instinctual. But it's also just really genuinely and transparently caring, right? Exemplary leaders are always good readers of people. They hear what people are saying while intentionally, actively listening for what they don't say. Remember, hey, Lori, glad you were able to get in. Um, uh, Yes, I love that. We have weekly wins roundtables. That is awesome. That is not only encouraging the heart, but that is demonstrating what good looks like. And that partnership, it really is what enables others to duplicate those kind of successes. I shared earlier before we got all the technology worked out. I had a colleague, Nancy Soliday, came to me one day, said she had a great idea. She had started this practice in her sales organization, and it really was around, we called them power hours and other things, where we help people learn how to prospect and get comfortable with prospecting. You can't really, hey, Lori Bowley, good to see you. We can't really, perform at a high level in a sales organization. We don't have good quality prospects, right? So we would team people up, because some people were more natural at it. Some people had more experience. They had more confidence in it. Hey, Patrick, glad you got in. Um, and in doing that, she made a comment to me. She said, nobody likes to go to a party alone, right? And it really hit me. I get that, right? it is, you do have more courage walking into a party when you got a friend with you that shares your values, that you know you can count on, that's going to make look out for you, and it just gives you confidence to go in among strangers. Well, when you're making cold calls, that's pretty tough, right? So we partner people up. They'd see those best practices, they'd see that it works, and then they would start getting some appointments, and that winning and that success bred upon itself. And then they wanted to do it more. They realized it wasn't as scary as they thought it was. But that is a beautiful picture of what partnering with somebody, regardless of where you are in the organization, that's peer to peer, and that's where some of the best work occurs. But that is a beautiful picture of how you enabled someone to act. You gave that person the confidence and the courage to do a very important activity that is part of a successful sales organization. And by doing that, you enabled them to develop skills and confidence and be much more successful. Successful leaders are also great connectors. They relate well to others. I think you would all agree with that. They make people feel important. Hey, Ted, glad you're able to get in. Good seeing you as well. They develop confidence and competence across their teams. Very, very important. You know, you just don't do much without confidence, and confidence comes from competence, right? And they respect the role each person plays along a shared success path. What a great example. Respect. I used to say fairness, dignity, respect were the way to win always, and I still believe that. But respect and sharing the success of a shared collective win is awesome. Successful leaders understand it's not about it is about we and not about me. Let me get that right. Successful leaders understand it's about we, not me. Remember what we talked about. It's about let's go, not go, right? The focus on enabling everyone at every level to be and do their best through continued learning and by optimizing opportunities. I hope everyone enjoyed Andy last week and talking about MVAs, most valuable activities. I can tell you, doing that is really, really important. Why? Because he emphasized, and I want to re-emphasize, this is not about time management. Many, many things we do are important. Many, many things we do are relevant. But are they the most? And are they the right most relevant things? You know, I hope you enjoyed that session. But again, that goes back to enabling everyone at every level to be and do their best. I've often said, if we could get everybody doing the things they should be doing at their level and really leveraging the completeness of an organization, we could not be beat. Good leaders bring people together. I mean, it really is a collaboration. It's collective impact thinking. It's winning and holistically and collectively. And that is really when people begin to really elevate their success. And that is the ultimate of enabling. Yes, thank you, Robin. Andy is good and a lot of good takeaways for sure. They do that by fostering a collaboration and by creating an atmosphere of candid conversation. I want to touch on that a little bit. We'll probably have a session in the future simply around candor, the importance of creating an environment. It kind of goes back to that challenge the process practice, but candor and honesty are hugely important in an organization because it's a test of your culture. Have you created an environment where people can really tell you what they believe to be true? Doesn't mean it always is. There may be some gaps, but it's clearly their perception of the truth. It's clearly their perception of the environment. And the ability to bring that forward allows for the conversation and the collaboration to get consensus. And that's very, very important. I used to tell people all the time, everybody has a right to get an answer to their questions, to understand what we're doing, to really feel like they're informed. Matter of fact, it's an obligation if you're in my organization to really know that you're connected and have an understand what we're doing. All I could ask is if you don't agree, at least understand you got an answer and appreciate and respect that and move forward as part of the team. And we'll continue to develop the agreement toward where we need to go through that ongoing collaboration. That fosters cooperation, that fosters caring. And I guess we got to say it 100 times, but you know, again, if people don't know how much you care, they don't know how much you, there's Jim popped in for a second. They don't know how care how much you know, right? So we're going to devote more to that later. But successful leaders create a climate too, which people feel they are contributing to what? A shared vision. See how it all ties together? And are in control of their own outcomes. Wow. We talked about context when it comes to culture. People understand the context and have an alignment within the organization. I'll tell you, that's kind of vital. And I say in my experience, that's probably one of the biggest gaps. But this is about people feeling like they can control their destiny, that their outcomes will be recognized and rewarded, and they have the opportunity to participate at the highest level. Understanding the team is bigger than any individual. Wow, the team is bigger than any individual. The collection of the whole is better than the individual parts. They engage all who are involved in making the mission work and the vision a reality. What I'd like to do now is, as you're thinking about this, I'd love for you to chat in here where you feel like you really enabled someone else to act, really enabled someone else to be their best, gave them the courage, the confidence, partnered with them on something. Share some of your examples in life, and so others can see. I think that's very, very important. If you have questions around that, let's chat that up too. But it's about mutual respect and support. Support and respect are really the glue that holds successful teams together and enables them to act in bold ways. Now, think about what that just meant. We're not just talking about act for the purpose or the sake of doing something. I mean, think about if we can create action that results in bold ways of thinking, bold ways of going to market that really demonstrates the confidence and the right to win. What a difference that would make in your teams. So what are some of the specifics you can do, to really pull this off, to really enable people to act? I'd say structure jobs to give them latitude to make judgments. We really a lot of times don't know the quality of what someone's judgment might be if we don't give them the opportunity to practice their craft or share and leverage their experiences, right? It's about how they do. It's about how they do their work and how they meet the needs of their customers, the organization, et cetera. But give them latitude. Give them latitude to fail, even, right? Fail quick is a pretty important business principle, but learn from that. That's where the best learning occurs. Provide the necessary resources. Resources are important. And if you are in leadership, if you are in a position of authority, you are the gatekeeper to resources in many cases. So provide what they need to perform effectively and efficiently. And as you do your MVAs and you think about your prioritization, those are going to align. Promote a perspective of personal ownership. Wow, isn't that important? We talk about sales a lot, almost being an entrepreneur where each of your desks, whatever you're responsible for, is really a mini franchise. Sales of the future really is not going to be about managing people. It's going to be about managing customers and large books of revenue, in my opinion. So promote a perspective of personal ownership. Convey confidence. We talked about that, particularly in their abilities. Remember, it's not what you say, it's what you convey. It's not what you say, it's what you convey. Remember, we talked about getting around, not just inspect what you expect, but inspire what you desire. These all have meaning. And then coach them. We're going to have a whole session on coaching come up, but that's about investing time in those that you care about and lead. Supporting and strengthening constituents and colleagues to act on their own initiative to grow and achieve is the process of building leaders. This is one of my favorite quotes, Ralph Nader, and this is something that just brings it all home for me. The function of leadership is not to produce more. The function of leadership is to produce more leaders, not more followers. Let me repeat that. That may be the most important thing today. The function of leadership is to produce more leaders, not more followers. So my takeaways for the day. We all have the potential to grow into great leaders and to do extraordinary things beyond what we can imagine. Growth is the greatest separator between those who will succeed and those who won't. Maxwell put it this way: the successful person is burdened by learning and prefers to walk down familiar paths. Their distaste for learning stunts their growth and limits their influence. I love that. Let's one more time. The unsuccessful person is burdened. They feel like learning is a burden and prefers to walk down familiar paths. That distaste for learning stunts their growth and limits their influence. And finally, Jack Welch said, before you are a leader, success is all about growing yourself. When you become a leader, success is all about growing others. I think that's a great one to take away. So if you're empowering the practice of inspiring a shared vision, modeling the way Um, Encouraging the heart, challenging the process, and enabling others to act, regardless of your position in the organization you're leading, and in my humble opinion, cannot fail. Al, Al Getler, you are the winner of today's book. Jim and Karen and team will get you that. Thanks for coming back in. Thanks for participating in the conversation. I'm sorry for the technology glitch this morning. I want to also encourage you, those that did get back in, to share this opportunity among your network. We want to get it out beyond just the people we normally network with, and promote this too. Please use your networks to promote this. We'll get the technology thing cleaned up. We really appreciate you all. I hope you're enjoying this. I know I am. And I hope you have a great week and a great day. Al, enjoy the book and lead on.